It started with a single message. I should have known better than to brush it off, but I didn't. At first, it felt like just another odd comment. An innocent hello from a stranger, I thought. But as the days went on, I realized just how wrong I was. I had always loved social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of it. My life felt connected, vibrant, and full of possibilities. As a digital marketing consultant in Toronto, I was always posting something, whether it was my morning coffee, my favorite books, or the occasional weekend getaway. It was harmless, fun even. But that was before everything changed. It was a Tuesday when the first message came through on Instagram. The user's name was Watcher, a strange, anonymous name. The message was simple. I saw you at the cafe earlier today. You looked happy. At first, I didn't think much of it. I mean, who doesn't get a few strange messages online? It wasn't out of the ordinary for me to have followers commenting on my daily life. But something about this felt off. I didn't remember posting anything about going to a cafe. Then the next message arrived, later that evening. You were wearing that blue jacket, remember? I like the way it looks on you. My blood turned cold. I hadn't posted anything about the cafe. I hadn't posted a single picture of that blue jacket. I hadn't shared my plans, my outfit, or even my location. How could this person know these details about me? I tried to ignore it. I figured it was just some random internet troll who had stumbled upon my profile. But when I logged in the next day, the messages kept coming. More cryptic, more personal. I saw you leaving work today. You looked a little stressed. I hope everything's okay. You're at the grocery store. I love the fresh flowers you always pick out. Each message sent a chill down my spine. It felt like someone was shadowing me, watching me, waiting for me to slip up. It was as if they knew my every move. But how? How could they possibly know that much about me? I blocked the user, of course, but they came back, under a new alias, then another, and another. Every time I blocked one, another would pop up, more persistent than the last. And it wasn't just random comments anymore. It felt deliberate, calculated. Why can't I shake this feeling? I asked myself out loud one night, sitting in my dimly lit apartment, staring at my phone. I felt the walls closing in on me. I couldn't escape it. Then came the first real threat. I've been watching you for a while. You're always so careful, but you can't hide from me. I'll be closer to you than you think. I froze. This wasn't some overzealous follower anymore. This was something darker, something terrifying. My mind raced. I changed all my passwords, tightened my privacy settings, double-checked who could see my posts. I even contacted Instagram support, but the messages didn't stop. In fact, they grew more invasive. I see you're in the parking lot. Your car is parked next to the black SUV. You're wearing your purple sweater today. How are you feeling? That's when it hit me. This wasn't just a stranger. This wasn't a coincidence. Someone had been following me, tracking my every move without my knowledge. And it wasn't just on Instagram. They were watching me in real life. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized how vulnerable I had become. I went to the police, hoping for some help. But when I explained the situation, the officer just shrugged. Unfortunately, unless they're making direct threats or physically harming you, there's not much we can do. Have you considered reporting it to your social media platforms? It was almost laughable. The system that I had trusted to connect with the world had become my worst enemy. The same platform that allowed me to share my life was now being used against me. It felt like I was trapped in a digital maze with no escape. I started to think about my ex, Jason. The breakup had been clean, respectful, and quiet. We'd moved on, or so I thought. Could it be him? But no, Jason wasn't like that. He was always distant after we broke up, polite, but distant. But the more I thought about it, the more I began to doubt myself. Was it possible? Could he have been behind these messages all along? the messages didn't stop. In fact, they only grew worse. I know what you're doing tonight. You're meeting Claire at the restaurant downtown. You'll be there in exactly 1 hour. Don't be late. How did they know that? How did they know where I would be and when? I couldn't take it anymore. I told Claire everything and asked her to meet me at a different place, but even that wasn't enough. The stalker already knew. You've made your move, but I'm already here. I know where you'll go next. The cold sweat that drenched my skin wasn't just from fear. It was from the realization that this person, whoever they were, had been watching me for much longer than I realized. They knew my routines, my habits, my weaknesses. My entire life had become an open book to someone I couldn't even see. Days turned into a blur. I couldn't concentrate at work. I couldn't enjoy a meal with friends without feeling paranoid. I couldn't walk down the street without the nagging sense that someone was lurking in the shadows, watching. I stopped posting on social media altogether, but it didn't matter. The messages kept coming. Then, one day, I received an email. The subject line read, "The truth behind the mask." I clicked it, my fingers trembling. The message was short, just one line. "You should have known it was me all along." My mind reeled. What did that mean? And then there was another email. This one had an attachment, an old photo of me and Jason at a concert from before we broke up. The subject line sent a wave of nausea over me. "Remember this night?" I knew instantly. It was Jason. All this time, it had been him. I was sick to my core. The man I had trusted, the man I had once loved, had been stalking me, watching me, hiding in the shadows of my life, pulling the strings like a puppet master. The breakup, the distance, it was all a lie. Jason had never let go. He had been watching me, obsessing over me, every day. I rushed to the police station again, my heart pounding in my chest. This time, I had proof, emails, screenshots, the photograph. They were able to trace the messages, track the burner accounts, and connect Jason's IP address to it all. It turned out that Jason had been hiding behind anonymous accounts, using fake identities, tracking my every move with the precision of a stalker. He had never truly moved on. Jason was arrested. The relief I felt was overwhelming, but it didn't last long. The emotional toll was deep. I couldn't shake the thought that the man I had trusted, the man I had once shared my life with, had been the one behind it all. Months passed, but the trauma lingered. I kept asking myself how I hadn't seen it sooner, how I had allowed this to happen. The constant surveillance, the constant anxiety. Had it all been there, hiding beneath the surface? And then, one night, after everything had calmed down, I received a final message from an unknown number. "You're not safe. You never were." I clicked off my phone, my breath shallow in my chest. Was it Jason? Was it someone else? The digital world had been my prison, and now I wasn't sure who to trust anymore, not even the screen in front of me. Was it Jason? Was it someone else? The question I'm left with now is, how much of ourselves are we really giving away when we share our lives online? And more importantly, how much are we risking?